What's up, guys? Welcome back to Aledius Sports Talk. Just got finished watching the Team USA defeat Team Canada in the Four Nations tournament. Best on best, as they say. And this was a wild game to start. And I didn't think it was going to start the way it did with like three fights in less than 10 seconds, less than 10 game seconds. And it was just incredible to see. Both Kachuk brothers and then JT Miller got in there, and it was just a wild start to uh, a really impressive defensive game by the U.S. And I think what I was really excited about with this game was that, because when I was watching this game or when this whole tournament started, I kind of felt like, it's not really, it's not the Olympics, it's not like the World Cup of hockey. It's not like the IIHF. It's not like that, and it's not. It just felt like, okay, well, what are people are players going to take this seriously? Going into it, because like they're trying to promote the shit out of it and make it seem like it is a really really important tournament, right? And I think that's the goal of anything. You're trying to promote it to be something important. Otherwise, it's just an exhibition. And I think after the first Team USA played, was it Finland, I think? And then it was close, but then they just dog walked them in the third period. After that, I was like, all right, well, I don't know how seriously I would take it. It's still fun to watch. It's still hockey, right? So better than the fucking NBA All Star game that was going on, which was a joke. And it's better than a NHL All Star game, where nowadays it's not as taken seriously as it was back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, I know when I was growing up in the late 90s, it was really fun to look forward to. But this one, Four Nations tournament, it was just, again, it's just four teams, right? And hopefully down the line, Russia can join in. But I was so surprised, happily surprised to see this game with the US and Canada, just how intense it was. It was, first period was all balls to the wall. Again, three fights in the 10 seconds. I think it was the pace was so fast, the physicality was there, and it felt like the hitting and the physicality of maybe the late 90s, early 2000s a little bit, combined with the speed of the game today and the skill of the game. And I tweeted about it, but I hope that that's kind of how NHL officiating gets kind of changed moving forward, because just the way the game was played, it was like they were letting hits fly, and they were letting kind of, wasn't as much of a clutch and grab as back in the 90s, but there was some, like, I mean, I think McAvoy was just laying into Crosby when he was on the ground, and there was no call, like there was nothing, right? And then people like McDavid was getting hit. He was also dishing out hits. Everyone was just getting in on the physicality of it all. And that's kind of like the type of hockey that, you know, everyone loves to watch. And it was such a great game to be on, like, the world stage, basically. And I mean, everyone, especially with the NBA All-Star game not being good, like you look on Twitter and everyone was tweeting about it, who were football players and, football journalists and football, like different people from different sports, like everyone from players to journalists to just, people in Barstool, whoever, like they were tweeting about this game, not the NBA All-Star game and not college basketball, but like this game, a hockey game between Canada and the US. And it was just really fun to watch and really cool to see that, good exposure for the game. But in terms of the game itself, I felt like I was nervous for how good that Crosby, McDavid, and McKinnon line could have been. And you saw McDavid walk in and just absolutely just backhand snipe, Hellebuck. And I mean, I thought McDavid just, there was such a subtlety in that move where, like, if you watch the goal back, like he takes it on his backhand and he kind of does a quick forehand, like little shimmy. Like he takes it to his forehand really quickly, then puts it right back to his backhand and just, skates it forward and roofs it. And it looks so simple and it looks like he's not doing much. But if as a goalie, you're like, normally you're anticipating, because he's holding on his backhand for so long and he puts it back to his he shifts his stick to the forehand a little bit, and then he's leaning in that he's going to cut in, especially just kind of the way the attack angle of him coming there. Like you would think he would cut in and go forward or forehand, and he just roofs it backhand, and it's such a hard tell. Like he was so quick with it too, so it's hard to kind of figure that out. But when that first goal happened, I was like, oh shit! Like Canada is gonna be, if we're not careful, they are going to just run the score up a little bit. And I thought U.S. played, they battled back, they answered back. A bit of a softie from Bennington. I think that was my concern about Team Canada going into the tournament was their goaltending. I think their goaltending was, I mean, I know their defense was also a little bit like shorthanded and banged up or whatever, and that probably not the strongest, but I think their goaltending for me was the question mark. Bennington has been struggling. Aiden Hill, I don't know if he's yet that top guy. I mean, he's a Stanley Cup winner, right? I think, but I just don't think he's as much of a top caliber goalie compared to the rest of the guys. And then who they have, Montembeault, right? So that's kind of a little slim pickings there with Team Canada goalies, and that was I thought it was a soft goal. Right? I thought the first goal was a soft goal. The second goal, I guess if you're counting it on this stage of this best on best and this caliber of hockey, might be a soft goal too. But I mean, it was a 2-on-1. It was a giveaway. It's just I'm not saying Binnington played terrible. He actually played some really good saves. Honestly, I mean, both goalies played really well. Hellebuck played really well. It was only essentially it was only a 2-1 game, right? I mean, I don't think, you really count the empty nest, but like, I thought that was Canada's Achilles heel here would be their goaltending. But then if you look at it on the flip side too, I think like their offense was expected to generate more, and I think against Sweden, right? Was it Sweden? I have to double check that. But against the Canada in the previous game, right? Like, let me just double check it. Yeah, it was Sweden. So in Sweden, they went to overtime, and I don't think Canada being the powerhouse that they were or are, like they shouldn't have been going. They shouldn't have gone to overtime with Sweden. They should have just won in regulation and handedly, but they didn't. So it's weird. Like it's weird for me seeing this Canada team legitimately with like best players ever to play the game, from Crosby, McDavid, McKinnon. I mean, Marchand's on there. It's like, and I know I'm forgetting a couple other people, but like Stone, right? These guys should be winning. These guys should be just dog walking every team that they've gone against so far. And it's a very, I don't know, like interesting way. I mean, it could part of it be like, again, it's such a short tournament, so it's not even like I'm not going to harp on it too much, but it is such a short tournament that like sometimes that rhythm and that chemistry with other guys, no matter how good you can be or individual players are, it doesn't always equate it to being a team, a good team. I think I think it's kind of a difference between like hockey and let's say football, right? I mean, you put in one wide receiver who is a game changer and he could basically win the game in a sense, right? Or you put in a quarterback and a wide receiver or a run, Derrick Henry. Like you just have these different pieces. You add in one piece and it can completely just change the game. But with hockey, you literally could have three of the greatest players of all time, or two of them at least, with Crosby and McKinnon or McDavid, and it doesn't equate it to wins. So I think there's a lot of questions that Canada's gonna have to answer. I think. I think they stick with Bennington with the next game. I mean, it's kind of a must win for them, but yeah, because I don't know how much trust you'd put in Aiden Hill, and I feel like he played. Again, I think the two goals he let in were leaky, but I don't think he played bad. It's just one of those where you see the shot, you have to make that save, right? It's at this high pressure situation, at this level of like high level play, you're expected to make that save. And but yeah, I mean, I don't think that I don't think that Bennington played terribly. I think he still can come up big for them, and he did come up big for them in that Sweden game. He had a huge save before the overtime goal. Now, on the other hand, with Team USA, I mean, they're in the finals, right? I believe that's how it works. Now they're in the finals. Still not too clear on how the point system works, I guess, but maybe that's on me. I have to figure that one out. But they're in the finals, and I just a lot of credit goes to them for how they played a really solid defensive game. They played, like in that second, I'd say more so third period, the entire third period, they just didn't give Canada anything. They stopped all the chances. There wasn't really any major push by Team Canada in the third period, and the Team USA had played with the sense of like, all right, we know one-on-one matchup, we're probably not gonna like outplay Canada just by in terms of like a one-on-one matchup. And as you know, I'm a Devils fan. Jack Hughes, I think he's incredible. He's on the USA. I thought he had a pretty solid game. But you just look at the Team USA team, and they're not really built with like high level skill guys. They are built more so with like gritty and like um like hardworking guys. And so I think Team USA did exactly what they needed to do to win, and that was play a team game, play physical, right? Like kind of take it to Canada. Do not let them get a lot of open ice, a lot of open space. Don't let them, don't let that Crosby and McDavid connection and McKinnon there. Don't let them kind of get that rhythm. Don't let them pass the puck too much. Stay in the passing lanes. Don't give them a lot of options. I think if you saw that it was the last 2 minutes of the game, McDavid was just like passing, and then it went to who was it like, whoever. Again, I don't know all the players, but like the Team Canada just couldn't find a shooting lane that they felt comfortable shooting on. They kept passing and passing. It's almost like they just kept trying to find different options to get a good lane to the net, and like that's a good sign of just really good, solid defensive positional play because you are not giving Team Canada the good look, and also like a lot of people would just sit there and go, "Oh, just shoot it," and yeah, they have to shoot it more, but at the same time, when it's like when you're late in the game, it's like 2 minutes left, or you pull the goalie for sure. You don't want to just shoot the puck all the time because if you shoot the puck and it goes wide, now Team USA gets it, they go down to the way and score. You miss out an opportunity, right? And you're not trying to overthink it. You're not trying to overpass it, but they are trying to find a valuable scoring chance or scoring attempt so that if they shoot it, it's they could shoot it and get a rebound, shoot it and get a scramble in front or garbage goal in front. But the good thing was Team USA just wasn't giving them that kind of look. And but I think next game, honestly, I think Canada's going to come out flying next game. I think they're kind of pissed off that they lost this one. You're at home, in your home country, crowds going crazy. They're booing the U.S. national anthem, which whatever. Still won anyway, but you kind of like it's a bit of a really disappointing loss for Team Canada in terms of just like coming out with a lot of energy. But again, I think credit to Team USA. I thought they brought it to Canada. I think they didn't wait for Team Canada to put them on their heels, and they just said, you know what, we just gotta go. We just gotta go, and play physical, right? And I don't mean go as in play like team. I thought Team USA played a really patient game, so I don't mean go as in you know be too aggressive or selfish with it. I think that I just meant bring the physicality, make Canada pay for it, make them earn it every chance, make them earn every chance. Um, there was a couple odd man rushes, I think, on both teams there was, but for the most part, I just thought the structure of the Team USA, um, team and the strategy in general on all games, really, not just this game, but you look at the game prior to that, it was a close game until they opened it up in the third. Uh, they there was a period of time I think in this game where they were counterpunching, maybe more so end of the second because I think Matthew Tkachuk went down, didn't really get back in the game. But if you think about just how they're able to hold on and like not fold, not break and not let in that tying goal, because I think that would have changed the whole complexion of the game. Honestly, I think if Canada scored to make it 2-2, I don't think this game would have went to overtime. I thought Canada would have snuck away with it, just because it's that momentum of being able to kind of get one, tie it up, have them on their heels, have the crowd going for team. Team Canada has the crowd going for them, and USA, is kind of now counter punching. But Team USA was able to pull away and is able to come out with a win. And look, last thing I'll say about it is that this tournament, honestly, this game kind of sold me on this tournament. Because look at Finland and Sweden. It was a good game, and early on today, and it brought there was energy and everything. But at the same time, it's like I think being in the U.S. and maybe it's just me being like a closed-minded dumb American or whatever. But like it wasn't like it wasn't as intense. I think there was that kind of feeling that okay, this is just a tournament. This is just extra hockey, right? But then you look at this game, and these are the kind of games that are so good for the sport, so good for the growth of the game and the exposure and people just kind of buying in and just how intense it got. And it just all around, I thought it was such a great experience to watch. And honestly, if Canada won, I wouldn't have been surprised. Like they have so many great players in the team, but to be able to have just the American market completely bought into this game, and I think honestly, I think it really hooked a lot of the casual fans and casual viewers of the sport to now tune in on Thursday because like, oh wait, when's the next thing? Like, they made it to the final. Like, when is it? It's on Thursday. It's in Boston. Great. It's in a home store or whatever. So I think it was a great game. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the viewership numbers for this was high, given the fact that the NBA game, All-Star game, wasn't that good. But overall, I mean, like I said, this one game sold me on the, I guess, importance of the Four Nations tournament. Hopefully in the future, again, Russia can be included. But I do think that it was a really just exciting matchup. Good job to both teams and on all that. And it's not over, right? I mean, we got Canada coming up. I forgot who they play next. I think it just depends on yeah, it's going to be Canada and Finland tomorrow. So, or today, I guess by the time I'm releasing this, but it's going to be interesting, right? Like, I mean, you got Team USA against Sweden tomorrow. So I'm actually curious how Team USA is going to handle that. Is Hellebuyck or Andre going to play? Are they going to rest their starters or whatever? Because they're going to be, going to the final, right? So, all eyes are going to be on Team Canada, and I do think that if Canada does not win, it will be a major disappointment for Hockey Canada. I think there's going to be a lot of question marks about how the hell does a team with Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Brad Marchand, Mark Stone, like, how is a team with like Seth Jarvis, Braden Point, like just Mitch Marner, like a lot of these guys on the team are just high caliber players and two of the greatest of all time. So that to me is Canada's, they are on the hot seat a little bit here, and a lot of pressure is on them. But if there's one thing that I think those guys, like I was saying, the McDavids and the Crosby, know how to handle, it's pressure like that. So we'll see what happens. I think my only concern is the goaltending in terms of coming in and making those clutch saves. But, they're up against Finland tomorrow, and we'll see if they can pull that off. But overall, again, great game. What a great night for Team USA and USA Hockey. And, we'll see if they can pull this one off and win the whole thing. So let me know what you guys thought about the tournament. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What are your thoughts on Team USA, how they're doing, USA Hockey, and how that's all gone? But either way, if you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe for more videos, and drop a comment in the comment section if you had anything to say about this game. But other than that, thanks so much for watching if you've watched it this far, and I will catch you guys later.